Bringing you news, politics, and whatever else tickles my fancy. Welcome to the Ho Ho Show, and I'm your host, Ho Ho. All right. Well, guys, I was going through and looking at Flipboard, which is my go-to news hub for anything and everything and all things news. I definitely recommend that you all take a look at it and check it out. It is an awesome news hub. Anyway, from the Daily Signal, headline, "A debt crisis is coming and we're all to blame," by Walter E. Williams, and this actually came out about an hour ago. The U.S. national debt recently reached $20 trillion for the first time ever. Guys, one of them reasons why I brought this up is because I seen another article earlier today, something about a debt crisis that they are thinking is going to be hitting sometime in the month of October, which, that's next month. So, I think it's like 3-4 weeks away of as far as when this next crisis they're expecting to hit is. And I'm just going to read you a few paragraphs in this, in this article, the first ones, and, it really does say a lot. I actually want to read more than that because, just information that y'all need to know, reality that needs to strike you square in the face. I think everybody needs to know this stuff. So, the article reads, "The largest threat to our prosperity is government spending that far exceeds the authority enumerated in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. Federal spending in 2017 will top $4 trillion. Social Security at $1 trillion will take up most of it. Medicare, $582 billion, and Medicaid, $404 billion, are the next largest expenditures. Other federal social spending includes food stamps, unemployment compensation, child nutrition, child tax credits, supplemental security income, and student loans, all of which total roughly $550 billion. Social spending by Congress consumes about 2/3 of the federal budget. Where do you think Congress gets the resources for such spending? It's not the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus. The only way Congress can give one American $1 is to use threats, intimidation, and coercion to confiscate that dollar from another American. From another American. Yeah, maybe I'll get this right when I read it. Congress forcibly uses one American to serve the purposes of another American. We might ask ourselves, what standard of morality justifies the forcible use of one American to serve the purposes of another American? By the way, the forcible use of one person to serve the purposes of another is a fairly good working definition of slavery. Today's Americans have little appreciation for how their values reflect a contempt for those of our founding fathers. Yeah, this article goes on, and it is very well read. Very well put together from what I've read of it. It's horrible of what we've done as a nation. And truth be told, the only reason why Congress even does this is because, one, they can. All they do is print the money. A debt ceiling, who cares about the debt ceiling? A debt ceiling isn't the problem. A debt ceiling isn't going to fix the problem. The problem is government spending. That's what it is. Truth be told, guys, it's, this type of a debt crisis has been coming for years. It really has. All the top financial advisors, if they are worth their weight, if they are not totally lying to you, and if they are honest and true, they'll tell you, we've got a crisis coming. And it's because of government spending. It really is. It's out of control government spending. Let me tell you something, guys. The rest of the world is really taking note of how we operate. Whenever we became the global currency, we assured them that, oh, no, we're not just going to, we're going to keep this based off of a gold standard, and then that went away. So it's no longer based off of the gold standard. There was a time when your dollar represented gold or silver in the treasury. Now it doesn't. There is no gold in Fort Knox. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not, but yeah, there's no gold in Fort Knox. There hasn't been gold in Fort Knox for years. Years and years. It was taken by Simon Gruber. No. That is a movie reference to Die Hard with a Vengeance. Simon Gruber, Hans Gruber's brother. Yeah, but anyway, there's no gold in Fort Knox. There used to be, something printed on your currency. It was, silver certificate. I remember having in my possession at one point in time a $1 silver certificate. And to my recollection, I think that $1 silver certificate was actually $60 maybe at the time, maybe. I don't know. I truth be told, I don't remember. It's been too long ago. I don't remember. But that bill, that currency, that Federal Reserve note represented silver in the Treasury. But no. That's not what our currency represents anymore. See, our currency, the value of our currency is represented off of our value on the global market. Let me tell you what that means. You see, your worth is based off of I guess you could call it a cost-benefit analysis. One of them spreadsheet things that a business uses in order to see what it's worth. So the more you produce, the more you are worth on the global market. The less you produce, the less you are worth. And guys, I'm going to let you in on something. I don't know if you've realized it or not, but our manufacturing facilities are have gone to the wayside. Detroit is a ghost town as far as what it used to be with the manufacturing. It used to be Detroit Rock City. It used to be, the place where vehicles were made. It's not anymore. A lot of our manufacturing has been shipped overseas and has been going. So if we've lost so much in manufacturing, I know you might ask yourself, what are we exporting? What is our main exporter in the United States? What do we have to offer the rest of the globe that they can't get anywhere else? What makes the U.S. special in the global marketplace? I'll tell you what it is. It's the USD. Oh yeah, I said it. The United States dollar is the number one export. Really is. Check it out for yourself. And the rest of the country, the rest of the world, I'm sorry, is wisening up. They're getting smart to what we're doing. We don't have the money to pay our bills, but what we do is we just print it and then we send it out. It's a wired transaction. It's cash that we put on a pallet and then we put on an airplane and we send it somewhere. That's what it is. It's not anything based on anything else. That's all it's based on. And everybody is seeing America for what it is. It's like all we're doing is writing out a piece of paper that says, I owe you. That's the reality of it. That's all our paper is worth. That's all it's worth. It's not actually money because there's nothing backing it up. There's really not. I mean, think about it, guys. If I have, a piece of gold and I give you a piece of paper that tells you that that piece of paper gives you claim to this gold bar that I have in my hand. Okay? And then I owe, this guy over here. I owe him money, but I don't have any more gold. But he sees in my possession a gold bar. What about that gold? I go, well, I'll tell you what. It's like, I'm really not ready to get rid of this bar of gold right now, but I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do. I'll write out this piece of paper, and I'll give it to you. And what that is that's a claim on this gold bar. So now I have just given this bar of gold to two different people. So that makes that currency that I just wrote out, it cuts the value in half. You see where this is going? And the government does this trillion times fold. That's a lot. So yeah, and the other thing is, not only do they diminish the value and diminish the value and diminish the value by printing more money, now they've given away the gold. The gold is no longer there. It's not. So now what do we have? Nothing. Nothing. And when our roosters come home, when the money starts flowing back into our economy because other countries no longer want it, we are looking at a crash of epic proportion. That's a reality, folks. This isn't fear mongering. This is truth. Do your homework. You'll see it. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to educate you. Something's coming. It really is. Bitcoin. Do you think that's a do you think that's a just a fluke that it came out? No. They're looking at ways to remove the United States from being the global currency. And one of the things that they're working on doing is an alternative that takes another country out of it. Because, folks, okay, when Great Britain lost that title of being the global currency, their economy, the value of their money dropped. I believe it was 87%, literally overnight. Yeah, that's huge. that means, that somebody went to bed with $100 in their account and they woke up with $33 in their account. Yeah, that's huge. And we are actually looking, when it comes, a crash more devastating than that when it happens. And truth be told, I mean, and this is because we have totally squandered our responsibility to other countries by just printing money and printing money and printing money. We really have. We've squandered this. We've used it, we've abused it, we've took it to the dirt. It's like a doorknob at a supermarket. Everybody's had a turn. I mean, it's pathetic what we've done. It really is. It's pathetic. And it is government spending at its worst. Yeah, I can speak. But when the roosters finally come home, when the money that we've just been sending out there to pay our debts, when it finally comes home, because the other countries are waking up. I mean, there's other information that I have out there on this, guys. There really is, and it's scary, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if this doesn't wake you up, nothing will, But I mean, truth be told, for somebody that doesn't really have a lot of money, there's not really much you can do. I mean, there's really not. There's absolutely nothing you can do besides just prepare yourself for a crash. Get some food preparations, bottle yourself some water, just be prepared to, maybe even leave society for a while, because people are going to lose their jobs, people are going to lose their homes, people are going to lose everything, and with a crash like that, you're talking bad, really bad. It's going to be worse in the major population hubs. It usually is, yeah, it usually is. And especially whenever in a day and age where cash is not king, credit is king. In a time where, people don't have cash anymore. They use a card, not cash. I mean, truly, think about it. How much cash do you really have on hand? If you go to the ATM and it says account froze, what are you going to do? How are you going to buy groceries? How are you going to pay your bill? That's what's coming. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be on a 3-day weekend. All right? It's going to be on a 3-day weekend. Whether that weekend or whether that, the previous week ends on a Friday or whether it ends on a Thursday, it doesn't matter. But it's going to begin on a 3-day weekend. Let's just say that Monday is a holiday. So you get off work on Friday. You go to the ATM because you want to go out. You want to pay a bill. You want to buy some food for a cookout, for whatever. You go to the ATM. You go to put gas in your vehicle. Card declined. What are you talking about? I just got paid. I got $1,000 in there. Try it again. Card declined. Call this number. You call that number. Oh, I'm sorry. We had some type of a crisis here at the bank. We had a virus hit the bank. So your funds are not going to be available during the weekend. I apologize. We're working on the problem as fast as we can. There's nothing we can do about it right now. I'm sorry. Whenever Tuesday comes around, because this is unfortunately a 3-day weekend. When Tuesday comes around, we will have the problem solved. It'll be fixed. Well, what else can you do? Nothing. Tuesday rolls around. Your money's pretty well gone. We had an economic collapse. Sorry about your luck. We don't have cash at this bank. Didn't you know this is the digital age? They're all just numbers and zeros in an account. We don't have the cash to cover your account. Scary, isn't it? That's what's coming, guys. When the roosters come home, when the cows come home. That's what we're looking at. A debt crisis like this country has not seen something that's going to be so much worse than the Great Depression. You know, for those that have the money, I recommend investing in gold. I mean, granted, it's not going to help you during the crisis. It's really not. But after the crisis, when we start to put our lives back together, then it'll help. But until then, it's not really going to help. And about the only thing we're going to be able to do as a people to survive is, trade. Barter and trade. That's all we're going to be able to do. Go to a farmer and be like, hey, I need to eat. What can I do for you to earn me a meal today? What can I do for you? How can I serve you to get a meal? And that's what it's going to amount to, guys. That's what we're going to have to do. Barter and trade. Back to the old days. Before the industrial age, whenever people knew how to grow crops and make butter and churn butter and do milk and all that other kind of good stuff. That's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to relearn how to do all kinds of stuff that we've never had to do before. But yeah, guys, I hope you're able to prepare. I hope you're able to, see this thing through. Very much so. Hope it works out for you. But it's coming. Something's coming. I can't tell you when, and I'm not going to make predictions on it. I can't tell you when. But I've been hearing about this for a long time, numerous years. And to be honest with you, I mean, we were so close back in, what year was that? 2008, I think, was the last, 9 years ago, 2008. I'm pretty sure it was. No, maybe it wasn't that long ago. 2012, maybe? 2008, 2012? Somewhere around in there. It was one of those 2 years. It was either 2008 or 2012. We were so close to economic collapse. I mean, we really was close. I mean, it came down to the wire, to where if the average everyday person actually knew, if the news sources didn't, well, I don't want to say they didn't lie to you, because they really didn't. They just did not report on it at all. To where if they actually let the people know what happened, what was going on, it would have collapsed. Then, I have no doubt, it would have. It was that bad. It was that close. It was down to the wire. And so if people actually knew how fragile this is, how fragile how fragile it was, how fragile it still is, and how easy it is to actually take down the system, it would have crashed. I mean, it's to say this is an economic bubble is a gross under exaggeration. And they are doing the American people a huge disservice by continuing with the spending, not cutting it back, and not trying to fix the problem. They are doing a huge disservice to the American people. It's just that simple. So, guys, I sorry for the bad news. I really am. It's not the type of news I like to give, but there it is. Well, hope you guys have a good one. Sleep well. Dream wonderful dreams. That's it for the Ho Ho Show. Good night.